Well, my name is Robert Dotson. I am the Assistant Dean of Student Affairs for Campus Life and Student Development. One of the major changes that happened this year is we moved into the 21st century and got rid of judicial affairs, so our office is now actually student rights and responsibilities. So we're still, talking people through that change. My staff, administrative assistant, myself, associate director. Say hi to Marcy in the back. Marcy. Hey, Marcy. And we also have funding for a GA. My GA graduated in December. He is now the assistant director of student conduct at Tarleton, and I have not replaced him yet. That's why there's no GA up there. But goal and mission of our office is ideally to educate students, faculty, and staff, and foster a community of civility, integrity, dignity, and respect. I work very closely with the Counseling Center, UPD. I work very closely with student health services, disability services, and Nikki Barnett is actually, I see and work with her every day. So some of the questions you were asking, I was like, I can answer that. I can answer that. In our office, we have two full-time professionals, myself and associate director. The associate director position actually was just added about 4 years ago. Prior to that, it was myself and a GA. But through some fancy footwork and funding, we were able to bring on an assistant director. And over the last couple of years, we were able to get it bumped up to an associate director. Again, one full-time administrative assistant and one graduate assistant, and we have applications out, y'all, on Handshake now for a GA position. Some of our major costs. Simplicity Advocate is a judicial software management system. It's one of the top 3. Other schools in the A&M system are using Maxiant. Other schools are using Advocate, and that really houses all of the incidents that are coming into the campus. It is used by multiple departments. One of the major departments that also uses it is Residential Living and Learning, and it helps with clear reporting. The annual cost for that is $10,330. That's based on enrollment. That's how they come up with that figure. Another large cost to the office is EverFi, or Alcohol EDU. Many schools use Alcohol EDU as prevention as well as a sanctioning mechanism. Annual cost for that is $12,000. For this past year, we've primarily just used it as a sanctioning mechanism, but as you'll see on a later slide, we're working with the orientation office in having it sent out to our incoming freshmen so they can actually take it prior to their arrival. Just to give you some figures, last year we had 653 cases documented in Advocate. On the 20th, as of the 20th, we had 607. I've pulled some numbers, and that's why I'm looking at my little cheat sheet. We have 17 more in a week. So that number has changed. One of the things that comes out of my office is our University Hearing Board. For some of the folks that have been here for a little while, it used to be our University Discipline Committee. The University Discipline Committee was not really used as effectively as it could have been, and under Dean Coffis, we worked with the President's office, and one of the things that I requested was, if we were going to use the Discipline Committee, 1, could I change the name, and 2, could we train those folks? Because we have a group of folks coming together making some really tough decisions about students, and what I found is they were not trained. So our University Hearing Board is trained both in conduct as well as sexual misconduct. Year 16, 17, we had 51 members, and over the year we that group heard 45 cases. We now are down to 44. As of the 20th, they had heard 21 cases. In the next 2 weeks, we have 9 more cases that group will hear. Some of the things, some of the bullet points, they're trained every summer and spring. They hear mainly high-level policy violations, anything that will result in some sort of removal, probation, expulsion. That group also hears appeals. That group also hears student organization incidents, and of course, sexual misconduct. And we also work very closely with our Title IX office in our sexual misconduct cases. Some of the things, you know, oftentimes I hear students say, the only thing Mr. Dotson does is throw kids out of school. That's so not my job. We educate, we're educators. Through our office, we work collaboratively with counseling, and we have a LEAP program, and that's alcohol and or other drugs, and it's a 2-part program. In the fall of 16, we introduced restorative justice here, which we did find when we went to the A&M Symposium. We're actually the only school that is using restorative justice as an alternate sanctioning process. Again, alcohol EDU. A couple of initiatives that we started in the fall were decision-making seminar, because oftentimes students end up coming to my office, bad decisions, right? So we created a decision-making seminar as an alternate sanction. And we have actually looked at different ways to look at student assessment and introducing learning outcomes into the discipline process. 2 initiatives that we are, that are actually in process or done. We have translated our code of conduct into Spanish, so that will go onto the web and it will be in our guidebook, as well as working with orientation to introduce alcohol EDU. Care and concern, Nikki Barnett is in my office. The numbers from 2016, 2017 are low because we were actually capturing that information via Excel spreadsheet. Now the incidents are remotely higher because that information is also being captured in the advocate system as well, and we're better able to track and work with those students. Campus outreach, I won't bore you with those. Those are some of the webinars that we have hosted over the past year out of our office. Autism, disruptive students, mental health is big, suicide and suicide prevention, emotional support animals, supporting Black male students. I'm one of the co-facilitators of the AMP program, so I had to put that in. Training and workshops. We do quite a bit of outreach with training and doing workshops and presenting for different constituents and campus partners here on campus. Professional development. On the left side, those are conferences that myself or someone in the office has actually presented in. On the right, these are things that the Department of Education and or the system require. And the last one, the ASCA Gearing Academy, that's school. That's a week of school. So fun, but not really. If funding is cut, compliance may have compliance issues with Clery and the Department of Education, accreditation, limiting educational sanctioning options. Again, alcohol EDU is a sanctioning option. Limiting campus outreach, and if you think about their 600 and some cases, and with enrollment increasing, that will increase, so it would definitely limit our ability to get out and work with faculty and other campus partners in training. And we may have to look at student fining. At institutions I have been at, they did actually fine students. Have not had a recent conversation about it, but in conversations I've had over the time that I've been here, it was adamantly opposed based based primarily on the type of student that we attract. Thank you. Any questions?
Questions for Mr. Dodson?
Yeah, I do have one.
Yes.
Would you mind kind of elaborate a little bit on this restorative justice program?
Sure. Restorative justice is an alternate sanctioning method that actually allows the person to re-enter the space and restore the harm. The popular story, I guess, I share around that is years ago when we were in the process of tearing down the old student center. 3 honors college students broke in and stole about $10,000 worth of junk. Old computers, knickknacks, bric-a-brac, give it all alone, was not money.